Again with Perdue Vision. That's P-E-R-D-U-E Vision, V-I-S-I-O-N. No, I'm not an optometrist. My other website is paulperdue.com if you want to see my photography. Perdue Vision is my advertising agency. We do everything from graphic design, web design, photography, printing, vehicle graphic signs, banners, and more. So let's get started on some image editing. We did a Shout New Year's Eve party, and we've got some beautiful ladies here that who would have thought they could look even more beautiful. But let's walk through some of these Photoshop tools. All right, so I'm on a Mac, so you're going to want to use the Command key for all your shortcuts, which I'll be trying to show you some of those. Command M, let's start with that. That is your levels. I'm sorry, curves. So we're going to drag that up just a little bit, just to pop that color and pop the lightness. And basically what we've got here is a decent histogram of light to dark, which you can check on your camera. So when you take a picture, you can check those histograms to make sure that you're getting, you don't want a spike on either edge, because what happens is you're losing information if you don't have this histogram going from left to right. This one looks pretty good. So I'm going to pull that up right there. That looks good. Let's do a little zoom in and see what we got here. Well, I see grain, and I see beautiful women. All right, so what can we possibly do to make these girls look better than they already do? Well, let's start with blemishes. Let's go in here and we're going to start out with the healing brush, bam, see that? You're going to click Control and click, Control, click, and then you're going to change your diameter until it's a good size. All right, that looks maybe a little smaller. Bam. And then you're going to hit Option, click, to select an area near that area. And basically what you're doing here is you're selecting the texture next to a blemish, and you're putting that texture over the blemish, so the blemish disappears. But it's also sampling the area all around that to give it the exact color replication. Unlike the clone stamp tool, which just takes, it's basically just cloning the entire area, texture, color, and all. So I start out with this one, just to get rid of spots that don't need to be there to begin with. They need to be gone. These women don't want them there. They're not welcome. So, but I mean, when you're gorgeous women like this, and you're beautiful, it doesn't take much time, which is good for me as a photographer. I always like beautiful subjects. Not that you're not all beautiful in your own way, but you might have a great personality. So that you got that going for you. All right, so let's not leave any error for interpretation, because somebody may see that and say, hey, you know what? That looks like a blemish. Now these girls look fantastic to me. The only thing I could say is that there's a lot of grain in this black right here. So what I'm going to do with that is, and what I'm doing there is I'm hitting Command minus and Command plus to zoom in and out, and that's cool. You'll probably like that. Command 0 will actually size it to the screen. All right, so I'm going to go to my layers palette. I'm going to duplicate the layer, and I'm going to run a filter on it known as Noise, Reduce Noise. And that's going to pull up a dialog box that I'm going to make adjustments to, which I already have. And you can see I've got the strength on about a 3. And honestly, any of you, depending upon what camera you shoot with, the effects of this are going to be a little bit different. Based on what kind of pixelation you're working with, preserving details. Because I don't really care about the details. I mean, obviously we've got wrinkles in here, and that could be considered details. I could kind of flush those out a little bit. I always put the reduced color noise all the way to 100%. Here, I'll show you. And look over here onto the left. All right, watch it. Well, you know what? That didn't really do what I wanted it to. Or did it? Yeah, it worked. Yeah, it worked. You see it? You see it disappearing? That's a cool trick right there. Hold the Control key, use 2 fingers, slide out, slide in. You can look very, very closely at your work. The only thing is it's very difficult to move around once you're zoomed in. Okay, so I think we're done with that. We'll hit OK. All right, there goes the adjustment. And what I'm going to do with that adjustment is I'm going to delete it from everything else. I'm going to delete it from everything, and then I'm going to paint it in on her dress. Because It's only her dress that I want that effect to happen to. And that deals with your layer mask tool. So I'm going to do a layer mask, or actually, let me just show you this. It'll tell you exactly what it is. New fill or adjustment layer. And we're going to do, oh, I'm sorry. I was right to begin with. It is layer mask, which is right next to it. We'll get to the fill or adjustment layers, trust me. I think I've already have. I think we did the curves. All right, so now that we've got that, let's zoom out. And I just want to paint in with a paintbrush. Well, wait. The effect's already been made. So let's take a look. Let's look at her face, right? Let's hit Control Z. Actually, not Control Z. I'm already one step ahead. So let's just see how I just turn the eyeball off on that layer. And you can see how the effect has destroyed her face. I mean, there's, you know, this gold is going to reflect colors. That color is probably actually there. So this red is there. Her eyes have blue. But when you do an effect like noise, color noise, it's going to destroy your color. So, I mean, you can even almost see it in the background, which is fine because I don't think it's really kind of soft in the background banner. So let's zoom all the way out. Let's look what it looks like if we, yeah, see, it doesn't really affect the banner too much as it does their faces. It really just kind of takes the pop out of their faces. So, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete. Well, actually, first you have to set this layer right here to black and hit delete. Well, wait. Am I on the layer? Let's see here. Delete. What's going on? Okay, it's not wanting to do it. Maybe it's the opacity issue here. Let's try that. Let's turn that all the way up, right? All right, let's try it again. I don't get it. What's going on, people? All right, I'm on the layer. All right, so you click on the actual adjustment layer. Interesting. I think my Photoshop may be fritzing out. Well, all right. If I paint on this, you know what, guys? I really think my Photoshop just fritzed out. Oh well, it looks good. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to do it manually. I'm going to go through here and paint in their faces. Bam. You like that? See that color coming back? Try to leave it out of their hair. You know, this girl right here, her dress, it has color. So let's paint that back in too. There's no need to have that that effect adjustment on her dress because her dress is reflecting all kinds of awesomeness, and we want that to be in there. We want that awesomeness in her dress. Adjust your brush size by control clicking on the background, and then paint. Bam. And I'm just adding color in here. You know, we want that color to come back in to the skin tones because the skin, you know, especially her face. Ooh, are we missing something here? Where is your skin? There we go. There we go. I must have hit the D key. When you hit the D key, it sets the foreground and background colors. You see that right here? If I hit, okay, I'm clicking on it, now I'm hitting the D key. Clicking on it, now hitting the D key. If you ever want to reset this back to white with a black, so you got your foreground color to white, your background color black. All right, let's say it's black and white. Hit D key. D key will do that for you. All right, so I think that maybe we're good on this one. Let's, ooh, accidentally we're painting that back. Let's just go back in here, make sure that's out. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. I think they look pretty good, right? Let's see as a whole. Maybe we should flatten the image at this point and go into a shadow and highlights. There we go. It just pulls a little color, a little more light into the actual dresses themselves. You see the difference now? You see what I just did there? It's just the dress, really, because she's in black. But it really pops her body a lot more. You get to see, you know, just how beautiful these women are. All right? And one last thing that I'd like to do here, I think, is one, like I said before, the layer adjustment. curves. Let's brighten this thing up. I like my images a little bright, only because it gives it that really nice high-end contemporary feel for me. I mean, I feel like it just really makes the image look dynamite. And what I'm doing here is I'm painting the top of the banner back in. You can see it's changing it to black right here by me painting that in. All right, let's flatten the image. Let's zoom in. All right. You know, the grain that's on her dress, we'll just chalk that up to be, okay, she bought a textured dress. I don't think anyone really is going to notice or care that there's grain on there once they see how beautiful their faces are, which is dynamite. All right, let's see. Let's take out some of these carpet. I don't know if they're stains more so than they are just scuffs where people have stepped and created a little bit of a darkness. There's one more over here. All right, save and close. I like that. All right, I think we're golden, right? All right, what about these girls? All right, we've got some fair skin. So let's go in and, like I said before, I typically start with, and you can zoom in as far as you want. I mean, like, if you want to get in there and work on these things, get in there and work on these things. Oops. All right. We're going to select an area near, and we're going to drop it on there. Now, I'm going to come back. You may see I'm moving this texture around a little bit. I'm going to come back and clean that up. Let's see here. Let me zoom out a little bit. It's a lot easier. You can use 2 fingers on your trackpad, too, if you want to kind of scroll around this image. Just 2 fingers, right? You know, you go to the tanning bed. You go to the beach. You get these little sunspots on your chest. You know what? Later they turn into, what are they? The older chaps get, the liver spots. No, this woman does not have liver spots. She has just some minor sun damage. But do you want that in your photograph? No. No, you want to look beautiful. You want to look perfect. What's the purpose of having a photograph if you're not going to remember the absolute best you, the best time you had, combined with the best equipment, the best photographer, the best technology, all of these things? Really, you know, they say you can be a great artist, but it doesn't amount to anything if you don't have good tools. I mean, I just bought a Canon 5D, and I'll be honest with you, I love the camera. I think it's great. A lot of these pictures we took with my 30D. We wanted the 30D to be at the photo booth because, well, we have a 6D, a 30D, a T1i, and then the 5D. And the 30D works really good when you have a lot of light. So since we're doing the photo booth, we decided this would be best. Now, what I'm going to do here is go in here and soften hard lines. I'm going to use the clone stamp tool. We've got the opacity dropped to about a 27 or 30%. I'm going to select areas and just kind of soften that cheek right there where you have that burst of light coming back off the you can actually see in her eyes that my second flash in this particular picture did not fire, which, you know what, it should have. So let's go in here with the dodge tool. You see how I just jumped to something else? I'm going to go to the dodge tool. I'm going to put that flash in there because that flash should have been in there. That flash should have popped. That's what I like about the flash, is because you get that burst of light. Here, let's turn this up. 100%. Bam. All right. Get that burst of light in there. There's that other one. Yeah. All right. Too much, too much, too much. Bam. Right there. Get that other burst of light in there. All right. While we're on the dodge tool, let's go ahead and make the brush bigger. And let's turn the exposure down. And I'm just going to grab these eyes. Ooh, lighten that one up a little bit. I mean, especially when you have really pretty blue eyes like this, or hazel. Let me see this Miss Redhead over here. Miss Redhead thing, what's up? We'll go through here and just a slight touch. Nice. This hazel green, beautiful. Oh, man. All right, so if you were a female and this was your picture, what would you complain about? Well, I've got this line around my mouth. It's just, you know, it's too, well, let's take that clone brush, clone stamp, and just soften it. I mean, we're not doing away with it. we're just softening it. What happened? Did I just mess something up? No, that looks good. So we've softened that. Soften this over here. We're going to go in here and just touch up some of this stuff right here on her cheek. Here, and it's easier if I zoom in. I know you want to see this up close. So let's just go in here and just sample some of this stuff very, very gently. All right. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm selecting the area nearby, and I am replacing it above and beyond. Oh yeah, definitely these lines right here. Definitely these lines right here. This is the one that any woman who gets their picture back looks at. Oh my gosh, you published that in Jezebel magazine. I can't believe you did that. I have crow's feet. So, no, beautiful women. So they should have nothing to worry about. I will, however, I mean, like, you know, these things right here. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to be there or not. But personally, I think she'll look better without it. And a lot of the times you have to take the creative judgment. Make sure that you're doing something you feel that they're going to appreciate and not come back and beat you up for. Hey, why'd you make my boobs bigger? I'm just kidding. That definitely wouldn't be cool. Or would it? All right. Okay, so we're cleaning them up. Looking good. All right. Touch that. Maybe soften that too, just a little bit. Just rolling up there. Nice. There we go. Soften that. All right, so honestly, I think this one looks really good. I mean, we could probably go in and do a shadow and highlights just to kind of pop, you know, those shadow and highlights, like in her dress down here. You see those colors? They just burst in. And so here, I'll give you a before and after as soon as this effect's done. You see that? Before, after, before, after. All right, that looks good. And sometimes I'll do auto levels just to see what that does. Nothing, absolutely nothing on this image because we're pretty much close to perfect. Let's just check the, okay, we do have a spike over here on the pure whites. You know what happens? We lost information. Most likely though, that information was lost in this area up here in the white. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you go into image, adjustment, threshold, it's going to show you your histograms. All right, so let's see where that area burns out. See, right there. All of this stuff has no information. Who cares? It's not the subject. The subject isn't good information. We've got great information on the subject's clothes all the way up to their hair. It's just this area over here that we're losing info. So I think that this is good. So we'll just save that image right there. I mean, honestly, this is not for award-winning stuff. This is just quick edits that you want to make to your photographs to make sure that, you know, they look the way you want them to. So, all right, like this image right here. I'm not trying to spend a lot of time on this stuff. I just want to kind of show you guys what you can do to make your pictures look better. So, and a lot of the stuff that, ooh, what's going on? I didn't pull that up. All right, go down. All right, so we're just going to keep on going. Let's keep on going. I'm using the clone stamp tool. We're going to grab this area, and we're just going to lighten that up right there. We don't want it to be so heavy, you know. You know, the older you get, the deeper your cheeks. I mean, you know, all of these things. You know, I'm not saying these ladies are old, but you know what? I can tell you right now, this girl is not going to want a picture of herself with this up here. So, you know, it's my job as a photographer to make you look great. You know, a lot of people would argue that, be like, hey, you know what? No, that person's fat. They should be fat. And granted, you know, for the most part, I don't mess with that. But the wrinkles, when you get into, you know, double chins, I'll mess with that. People do not want to have a double chin. I don't care who you are. If you want a photograph of yourself with a double chin, hey, then you've got bigger problems than I can fix and post-edit. Everybody is self-conscious. It's human nature. Nobody gets up in the morning, looks at themselves in the mirror, and is like, damn, I look great. I look sexy as hell. I'm amazing. I think this girl wears glasses. You can kind of see like where they may sit on her nose. But we're just going through here, editing these things out, you know, making it look good. And like I said, as a professional photographer, you have to learn Photoshop. Why? Because you'll never be able to compete with those who do. I mean, you can have a really unique editing style and a really unique perspective on taking pictures, but if you can't go in there and take somebody's zits out of their wedding and they're paying you $3,000, or you don't know how to take double chins out, or like let's say you have one bride that her arms are, I mean, and believe me, I've had brides come to me and be like, my arms, I hate them. I hate my arms so much. Please, can you fix my arms in post-edit? And if you can't, and they're paying you $4,000 or $5,000 to do their wedding, you better believe that you need to have that ability. All right, so see how I just messed up on her forehead? I went too far, so I'm going to go back over here to my history brush. And we're not history brush, my history palette, and I'm just going to go back a couple steps. So I think she looks really good now. She kind of reminds me of, oh my gosh, who is that girl? There's an actress that's in a daytime series right now. I cannot remember. Anyways, let's go back to the old healing brush. I'm going to select an area by holding Option, click, and then click again. Bam, gone. Bam, gone. Bam, gone. Bam, gone. Yeah, see how we do that? You like that, don't you? Yeah, I thought you would. All right. I don't know if you're even able to hear this, but I'm listening to some music while I do this. I should have like a DJ classes with Purdue Vision, you know? Get your jam out and edit some photos. So I like music. So music is very inspirational. I think if you're going to do anything, whether it's working out, driving, pop on some tunes. You know, make life enjoyable. You know, Steve Jobs. I'm reading his book right now, and he was a huge fan of music. The Doors and Grateful Dead. Actually, I didn't know this, but Steve Jobs actually did a lot of LSD as a young man. But hey, you know, if that's what it takes to become a $256 million 25-year-old, I'm game with that. I think that's something I could probably get into. But you know what? I'm 33, so I've kind of passed that ability to be a millionaire at the age of 25. So we're just going to try and see where this video takes us, right? Y'all need to pass this out to your friends. Give me some hits. Apparently, I get a lot of feedback that, you know, people are really astounded with just what I'm able to do. I mean, you give me any situation and I'll make it right. Obviously, I'm only as capable as my equipment, and as you can see here, the Canon 30D I took these pictures with leaves a little room for improvement, let's say, when it comes to actual resolution quality. I mean, if I was shooting these with my 5D, then of course I would have enough information to zoom into each pore on an individual level, get to know their name, and then break up with them. Pore, as in like, you know, you've got pores that zits clog. You know, we're trying to take these out. We're trying to get these hard lines gone. We want these women to look at their pictures and be like, wow, you know what? I want that photographer. The next event that I have for my corporate event, or the next wedding, or, you know, the next wedding, so bad. Yeah, no, not the next wedding. The first wedding. The first and only wedding you'll ever have. You know, I think, what is it, 50% of all weddings end in divorce? Is that what it is? Actually, you know what else I've heard is 50% of people that are engaged, 50%, or is it 50? It may be 75. It's either 75 or 50% of people who are engaged will meet the person they actually marry. Isn't that nuts? I think because so many people become complacent, they don't realize that they can get somebody else. And then that, you know, just by chance, you're going to run into somebody in your lifetime that's better for you than you ever thought. And walk out on your current Mr. Man. So not only are you getting Photoshop technique lessons from me, but you're also learning how to live life, which I think is cool because I can teach you so much. I'm 35 years old and I've done a lot of shit. I love to live life. I hate, like I've got friends that we ask to go out and do stuff all the time. I can't get them off the sofa. They either got kids. I mean, no matter what it is, it's just annoying. I tell you, oh, what is this? She must have spilt something. Well, let's just take that out. Clone stamps tool, bam. You like that? I'm sorry, healing brush. I get mixed up because a lot of times I use the healing brush in conjunction with the clone stamp tool. The clone stamp tool is good for softening only. I use that for softening hard lines. When you're dealing with spots, I use the healing brush. All right, so let's zoom out and see where we are with this. I think that looks fantastic. I do see one other thing that I'd like to do. Just to kind of help. Here, let's do this. I'm going to take this logo right here. You'll like this. Copy, which is Command-C, Command-V to paste. Click V one more time, and you've got your point select tool, your move tool. I'm going to go to the layers now because I've got an extra layer. And I'm going to drop the opacity on that. Why? Because I want to line it up. I want it to be exactly where the other logo was. So let's move it. Oh my goodness, it doesn't fit right. What am I going to do? All right, well, we're going to grab these points while holding Command, and I'm going to pull them where they need to be. All right, slowly, slowly. Yes. And you may have to come back and grab one and pull it back a little bit. Let's put that out of the way. Bam. Now back to the layer. Where are you at? There you are. All right, let's go all the way up, 100%. I'm going to use this tool right here. Let's just delete out that shit. Excuse my language for you children out there. You don't know nothing about this. Where you at? All right. Let's turn that hardness up again. I just want to get around this edge right here. All right. Now, back, no hardness. All right. And to me, because it's so bright in this area, let's just take this right here. I'm going to take this magic wand tool. Just select that shit. Let's get rid of it. Bam, it's gone. See that? Oh, but we got the background. Well, of course, it's not going to be exact, but, you know, it's close enough that you will never notice it, right? You won't. Trust me, you won't notice it. Not after I delete that back one. Bam. Can you say gone? Gone. Oh, there's only one thing. Do you see it? Can you see it? Nah, maybe not. Bam. Wait, you got to select that layer. Don't forget the layer. You got to be on the right layer in order to select that. All right, delete it out. There we go. Shout looks good, right? I know we're missing the Sheer Atlanta logo over here. You think Mr. Sheer would appreciate if we put his logo in over there? Now, obviously, we're not going to do this on everyone, but just the ones with the really, really pretty ladies. Because, you know, when you got pretty, perfect ladies hanging out in a picture, you want to make sure that everything else around them is perfect too. Because, you know, they have to be worthy of their perfectness and their awesomeness. Their sexiness. Yes, that's right. So again, like I said, grab that option. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Command. Grab Command and grab these little points and just pull them out. It doesn't have to be perfect, people. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to get it over the logo in the same perspective as the one that's currently there. Let's go ahead and pull that opacity up. Obviously, we've got this gray background. I'm going to hit curves on this one, which is a Command-M. So let me hit cancel. Hit Command-M with me, people. Hit the white brush. I'm sorry, the white dropper. You see how I just did that? I just did that. So easy. By selecting that, what happens is we're turning this background into complete white. So I just select that gray. Make sure that oh, there's a little spot right here. So hit it right there. Gone. Completely gone. All right, let's zoom out. Nice. You know what else I can do? I can grab this and grab this layer, hold Option, and let's move it over here. Only thing is it needs to kind of angle the other way. And I'm going to do is I'm going to take this logo right here. I'm kind of, all right, just line it up with that one. There. Make it a little bigger. There we go. Move that one into place. Oh, it's over her head. What are we ever gonna do? All right, yeah, I know I'm retarded. You don't have to like, listen to me. You can actually go to another video. But anyway, let's get this thing out of the way. Bam. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? Flatten the image. I think this looks pretty good. Maybe a couple little adjustments with the good old liquify tool. You're gonna like this one, people. This is the lady's best friend. All right, whoa. Not like that. I know we don't want to go there. All right, let's see here. We're going to take the brush size. Let's pop that up. Let's grab this and just pull it back a little bit. It may give hips to one of the ladies and take away a little belly on the other. Let's see what we can't do, though. It's taking a second because obviously this must be a big file. Hopefully we won't freeze up and lose all the changes that we just made. Oh my goodness, people, let's stretch, lean back, take a break. Oh man, what's going on here? I hope I just didn't lose this. It says it's not. Okay, good, we're golden. All right, so I'm gonna grab this and let's pull this stuff in. Just tighten it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be like ridiculous, okay? But I've had so many women tell me, oh my gosh, my arms look so flabby in that. No, don't worry about it. I got you, girl. I got you. Let's lift these up just a little bit, Back to grade school. No, I'm sorry, not grade school. High school. Like right when they got here. The first revealing. Let's tighten this up right here. Yeah. Actually, that may be a little much. Let's take the brush size down just some. Sometimes I like it. The smaller the brush, the better the angle is going to be on that. And you just tighten this up right here. All right, let's take a look. Oh, I say fantastic. Their faces are beautiful. I don't need to touch that up. No double chins. All right, let's go ahead and run the liquify results. As you watch and learn. Again, Paul Purdue with Purdue Vision or paulpurdue.com. Here you go. Before, after. Before, after. Do you see just that slight edit? Just tightens it up. Tightens it up. Yes. I like it. I like it. Okay. All right. So save. Let's zoom in. And looks like I accidentally closed that one out. Well, you know what? It was good. I think we were golden on that. Again, like I said, I'm not trying to kill myself on these edits. This one. All right, here's another option. We've got an issue here with grain. Grain. We got a little issue with grain. A little issue with focus. A little issue with hard lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit the images first. Let's get everything kind of smoothed out. Let's get this texture like smoothed out. There we go. Nice. Just softening that. You want to make these areas around your eyes should be completely transitional. If you're an editing photographer, you don't want there to be any hard lines, just smooth sailing skin, like a baby's ass, fresh out the box, so to speak. All right, here we go, getting this thing cleaned up, looking good. I mean, honestly, if you, like I said, if you're a professional photographer, it's your job to make these people look ridiculously awesome, not ridiculous. And if your Photoshop skills are not what they need to be, and you're trying to do this stuff, which I see so many of you out there doing, stop it. Stop it. If you don't know how to do this, you need to get practicing. You need to learn these techniques. because nobody, I mean, honestly, no one will probably notice on a consumer level that you don't have good skills in Photoshop. Their face will just look like a cartoon because your editing abilities aren't quite there yet. Your editing needs to be selective. It's not something that you perform to the entire photo, because the entire photo is different in every different quadrant of that photo. So what I mean, like right now, I mean, softening the reflective light from the flash, softening the hard shadows, softening the lines under your eyes. I mean, all of these things are important things to do, and they're individual changes that you have to learn to do yourself. You can't go into Lightroom. You can't go into, it's difficult to do a lot of this stuff in other editing softwares when you can do it super easily just by learning Photoshop and using Photoshop as your main tool. I use Bridge. I'll work in Bridge, and I will edit photos in Bridge directly into Photoshop, because I mean, you can just go through the gallery real quick. I'll delete all the crap first, get all the crap out of the way. Nobody needs to see an image that's going to have a really large amount of grain, except for probably the client, and it's your fault for uploading it to begin with, because they shouldn't have seen that image. Like this stuff right here, we want to make sure that she is looking good here. So I mean, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to really even out that I'm going to show you a trick. All right, I'm going to duplicate this layer, right? And I'm going to go just around this area. Well, wait. No. Let me just select. You know what? All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into Filter on this new layer, and we're going to do Blur. I'm going to do a Gaussian blur. You see that? Doesn't that look much better? Obviously, we're missing her eyes and everything. Well, let's do this. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to click Darken Color. No. I think it may be just darken. Which one was it? I can't remember. Oh my goodness. Give me a second. Let me run through these real quick. Color burn, multiply, linear. I think it may be darken. Let's see. That does a nice softening technique to her face. So let's just keep that one. But what I'd like to do is delete it from every other adjustment. So let's just do that. And I'm going to paint it back in with a paintbrush. You see how it just smoothed that area out? Leave her teeth, leave her eyes, because that's where the detail, the windows to the soul. All right. All right, so we're just kind of painting that technique away. Does he need it? Let's see. Honestly, this picture, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I just wanted to pop her up a little bit, soften her skin. We'll go in and we'll do it. We'll do it. That's another thing. Don't ever be, quick to move to the next image. Honestly, for me, like even if a client isn't paying you what you think you're worth, it's important for you to rise up and respect the fact that, hey, my work is worth more. And not letting you sell yourself short, but not letting your work speak for less than you're capable. And what I mean by that is edit it. Edit all your work. Make it look the best it can look, because you're not going to get the big gigs unless you start owning up to what your abilities are. And not everyone's going to pay for you to do, work like this. This client didn't pay us to do this. This is something we're doing because this particular client is definitely going to prove as a great in for a different community of people that we desperately need to work with. It's much more high end, and that's kind of the kind of work that I like to do. What I just did here was a shadow and highlights, and what that does is it kind of pops the background. We want to make sure that everyone knows, hey, these guys are at a party. The only thing is that kind of this guy right here is getting on my nerves a little bit because his bald head has a little reflection on it. So let's just take that reflection off. Just right there. There we go. There we go. Soften that up. Nice. Let's try a little automatic levels. I'm going to leave it without it. Last but not least, I like to do liquify. The reason I like liquify is because I'm able to get into that image and I'm able to edit. I'm actually able to move people's bodies around minimally enough to make a large difference. Like in this circumstance, I feel like we could probably tighten up this gentleman's face right here just a little bit. Just pull that in. And actually, it's going to take a second because we're still processing. Let's see, where are we with this thing? Give me a second. Let's see. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's undo. You see how I just pulled that in just a little bit? Well, let's keep going. Let's just tighten it all up just a little bit. That ear even. Whoa, too much. Let's pull this down, make it smaller so we can grab just the ear. Just the ear. Again, like, it's cool, super cool hat, but we don't want it like, you know, popping your ears out. Let's undo that. Pull this in. Pull that cheek in. Grab the chin there just a little bit. And this spot right here. Just straighten that out. Maybe even up here at the temple a little bit. Beautiful neckline. I haven't seen a woman tonight that hasn't had a beautiful neckline. I say tonight, like, well, in this event, this particular event. It looks spectacular. All right. So, I mean, we've done a good amount to this image. Let's go ahead and just say, yes, that looks good. And Liquify is performing its duties. And we're almost there, and complete. So there's before, after. Actually, after, before, after. So very subtle, nothing that the client would ever notice, but just a little something more that we could call going the extra mile. I'd say the only thing else we could do to this is to take the grain down, but to be honest with you, I think it looks fine. I'm going to actually take and lighten it up just a little bit with my curves adjustment. See the beginning and after? It gives it a pop, a nice little pop. And last but not least, I know I said that already, we're going to do a reduce noise, because I want all this noise in the background gone. The only thing that I'm not going to apply this noise filter to is their face. And the reason I duplicated the layer is so that I have the ability of, the reason I just clicked through that is because your settings are going to be different than mine. Play with the sliders. Do it. You'll learn what works best for you. But play with them, because you'll see right on the screen what's happening and what you think looks good. I can't tell you what I think looks good because that's my style. I don't want you to learn that. That's what gets me paid. You have your own style. You edit your own way. I'm just showing you techniques that can help you achieve the results you're looking for. So as this is running, I'm just going to give you, again, I'm Paul Perdue. I run PerdueVision.com. That's P-E-R-D-U-E. Vision. I'm not an optometrist, obviously, as you can see. Everything I deal with is imagery, vision, branding, marketing, advertising, graphic design, web design, photography. We do everything. And I say we, I get in that that we stage. Like I'm a corporation. I'm a one-man show. I do everything myself. You could also see our DUE. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm hoping that the lessons I'm giving you here are helping. So, all right, back to the picture. I'm going to click on Add Layer Mask, and I'm going to paint away that effect that I just did so that I can pop their faces. Oh, let's change the foreground background color. There we go. All right, so I want the color of their faces and in their eyes. I don't want that affected by my shadow, my blur. And her dress too, because I know this dress specifically pops extremely nicely. Extremely nicely. Is that a word? I don't know. We'll make it one. All right, let's get that to pop. Bam, bam. Looking good. Looking good. All right. You know, let's just say that's that, right? And save. All right. Next photo, please. And actually, I'm going to conclude this this session because I don't want QuickTime to say, hey, your videos are extremely large. So Paul Purdue, PurdueVision.com, PurdueVision.com, or PaulPurdue.com if you like photography, which this is photography. So we'll talk to you soon, guys. Later.